and welcome back to the Roaring Peacock podcast. It's the Leeds United podcast. If you didn't know, hello, here we are again. We've got so much to talk about because we missed out last week due to a friendly. So Davis has gone to Bournemouth, Guiseley 2, Leeds 3, Blackburn 1, Leeds 1, Fleetwood 2, Leeds 1, Christopher Clarkson. More friendlies, Leeds 2, Betis 3. The Leeds women drew 1-1 with #UnitedWomen. We've just watched the Ajax under-23s beat Leeds under-23s effectively 3-1. The away kit went on sale and a couple of signings. Christopher Clarkson I mentioned, but the women have signed Lauren Joyce. I have to ask Stats about the women next time he's coming on, and Terry Cooper, of course. So my name's Adonis, and you know me as at the Adelites on Twitter. Very good hello from me. Joining us to discuss all of this and more, our resident Prince of Darkness, Machiavelli at Ewan Metcalf.
All right, folks.
And the Youth Watch. I don't know. Have we got a nickname for you, Rob?
No, I'm glad I know.
And it's at Juicy Rob, the nicknameless man himself.
Evening. How is everyone?
I'm okay.
Marvellous.
Pretty good. I'm feeling healthier than I have been.
That's good. It's a good start.
The medication is working.
Health is wealth, done it. Health is wealth.
That's it. Wealth, the most valuable thing you can have, I guess. Okay, let's start with...
Apart from money, obviously.
Right. Let's start with some transfers then. I'll start with you, Rob. Leif Davis. He's gone to Bournemouth. Surprised by that?
I am indeed, actually. Even with Firpo coming in, I think to only have Dallas as backup. I mean, he played Cooper there, didn't he, today, which I know we'll probably come to, but to only have Dallas as a recognised cover as left back behind Firpo did surprise me because I thought last year with having, we had Dallas, Alioski and Davis as a potential three-man rotation at left back with three options. It, especially around fixture congested Christmas and stuff, it works out. So I'm surprised from a club perspective. Obviously, they've got plans. Maybe Cooper joining in at left back because it looks like it's going to be Struijk and Llorente at centre half. But for Leaf himself, I'm actually quite pleased. I think it's a good move for him as an individual, as a footballer. I'm pleased for him as a person. It does disappoint me that he will potentially move full time at the end of the season. I was hoping it would be a loan and then he would come back. So yeah, sorry if you heard Siri going wild on my iPhone then.
That's all right. We've got Bezos, is it? Listening in, joining the pod. So Christopher Clarkson, do we know anything about him?
Norwegian goalkeeper. That's all I can help you with. I haven't really seen him much. He's well thought of in those parts. If you look at the Scandinavian fan base on Twitter, they always talk well about players like that, of that ilk. And he's been getting some good feedback from some of the Norwegian Leeds United fan groups with praise, saying he's good. But we've also just extended Capriel as well. So from the goalkeeper perspective, I think we're well covered with young goalkeepers. Let's just hope Meslier stays fit for the whole season, because if not, I wouldn't probably like to see Capriel or Klaassen step up in the Premier League just yet. I don't know if they'd be quite ready for that challenge. But then again, we didn't think Ilian would be ready, did we? And look what's happened with him.
Yeah, but listen, I've got a theory. I don't know anything about this Norwegian anecdote, but usually Norwegian people, especially goalies, I'm expecting consistency, solidity, hard work. So he'll be all right. Do you know what it is about these young players moving on, to whether it be a loan to buy or whatever it happens? I don't know the circumstances of it. Unless you throw them in, let's be frank, you never know. That's the thing. They're not going to get the chance. Look at Smith when he came on that first game. Liverpool scored in his debut. Maybe if you hadn't have a different manager, not given the trust to go on and do it, saw something else in training that others maybe didn't or whatever. There's hundreds and hundreds of players you can go through the history of any club, but Leeds United particularly, that have just taken the chance that they've been given. And there seems to be a lack of ability to do that anymore. I don't know whether it's... I don't know whether they get into the system very early these days compared to when I was a kid. you didn't get picked up by football teams till you were 15, 16. Now they've been in a system since they were 8, 9, 7, whatever years of age. Whether they've just got complacent or lack that drive to be able to go and grab that opportunity that they get given, I don't know what it is, but you think Davis was always, for me, was going to be a natural successor at left back, and Rob is far more expert in these young lads coming through than I am. But what you saw of him, you kind of thought, yeah, there's a player in there, given a chance to run a games. You've got to play 10, 15, 20 games, haven't you, at this level to get anywhere close to. Are they going to get that chance anymore? It don't look like it, does it? Again, these guys are experts. That Bielsa, the youth team managers and so on. They must know he's going to be a decent championship player, but no more. I don't know. Look at what's the lad who plays up front, Greenwood and Geldart and others that appear to be, I like the guy Somerville. I think he's got potential. He's got that little bit of nasty about him, that little bit of competitiveness that I think they need that others don't seem to necessarily have. So, yeah, it's a shame because you'd like to see some of these young lads that have been here a long time coming through and getting their opportunity, but it just seems like it's more difficult to do in the Premier League. Definitely than it was when we were a championship team where people did get that chance,
The quality seems to be higher generally in the Premier League these days than it was, say, in the 90s when you had Kuehl and Smith and Milner coming through. Few messages then. See you, Nova. Hey up, everyone. Hey up, see you.
All right, Nova.
Yeah, all right. Whoop, says Nora. Thanks for joining, everybody. McAllister Bishop, looking forward to the game, lads. MOT. Nora says maybe he could be Blondie. Not sure what that means.
That's Rob for his nickname, isn't it?
Oh, Blondie. Yeah.
It'll be going back when the roots come through and I start looking like most of the women walking down Leeds High Street.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. You're going to be popular.
Dylan says, evening, lads. Nova says they cast a wider net nowadays, I guess, so more in raw numbers. Fail to meet the grade when it comes to choosing who to continue on with. And Ryan, the other wiggy, big wig. Yeah, the boys.
All right, wiggy lad.
So just on Somerville, I thought he was very impressive. He impressed me more than, say, Costa has been, or Poveda.
Don't start me off on this.
Yeah, I think he's leapfrogged. I think he's leapfrogged Poveda now, definitely. And I think if it's only because Costa's got first team experience at that level before, otherwise he's for me, Somerville's the next in line. We spoke about it a lot previously, but he's an absolute fantastic player. He's one that I don't think should go out on loan. He's one of those team members that if he's not going to get a shot in and around the subs bench of the first 11, he should stay with Mark Jackson, I think, in the PL2 Division 1 and develop internally in Leeds, maybe for the rest of this year, I think, at least this season. I wouldn't like to see him go out on loan because I don't think it would benefit him with where he is right now, which is impressing a lot of Leeds United fans.
So just quickly on transfers, have we done enough? Do we need more?
Yeah. In my opinion.
That's a fair point. I would, I said to you the other week, we mentioned that trust Bielsa implicitly, to know what the team has got. I think some people will get better. Maybe some won't quite make the grade this year who've done well first year back. But I still think we need something in midfield, and I'm still not convinced. I listen without picking on individuals because I'm not. Well, I am all about that actually. If Tyler Roberts, the way he's and Costa, let's be really honest here, and I'm going to not pull any punches. Everybody has an opinion about footballers, right? And it doesn't mean you're right or wrong. It's a game of opinions, which is brilliant. We should encourage that. But they're not making any effort, lads. You can things don't come off. You don't quite have the best game you've ever had. There's no excuse for not making an effort. And if you looked at Roberts and Costa today in that first half for the 23s against Ajax, you've got to ask some questions about how are they pushing to get in the first team and how are they, making a case that they should be starting every week, because I aren't seeing it. Sorry.
Mate, you're right. I think I was when I at Blackburn away. I was the people I stood round with in the pre-season off the ball. I think I must have said about 3 or 4 times, "Where's Costa's movement? Where was he?" Like he was just alien to the game. The game passed him by. He was a passenger for the time he was on the pitch at Blackburn. And I know the large parts of the squad didn't play particularly well back then for that game, but some people just coming back and off international break and holidays and so on. But he just looked. He looked really poor, and I forgot, having not been in a stadium for a long time, to see him off the ball at that close up. I forgot just how lackluster his effort levels can be, and he looked like he didn't want to be there. He looked bored.
Well, you could argue that for both of them for me, and that's not just today. That's some of last season, and you're right, Rob. You know what? It's going to be a challenge for them this year because you can get away with it on telly when you're not people aren't watching that off the ball movement. You're not seeing that 360 degree or 180 degree sort of look across the pitch. When you do get found out, I always remember people going about Rooney saying he was terrible. He's unfit and he's overweight. And if you ever watched him in live in a ground, the work rate for that man was ridiculous. Whether he looked unfit or not, his work rate off the ball was just outstanding. And we've got players like that, and they're going to stand out this year when the fans are in the ground. And you know what the fans are like? They're unforgiving. If you're not pulling your weight and you're not doing the shift, It's going to be interesting to see how they go, because I'm sure it ain't just me that feels this way about Costa and Roberts, And I hate to do it because we're all together, and it breeds that sort of togetherness in the team and the fan base. But I've just got to say it how I see it. And, if you're paying to go watch your football team, the minimum you can expect is effort and a bit of hunger and a bit of wanting it. And them two, I can't see it. And Costa just never done it for me. Never been a player that I've can get behind.
I think one thing we can say, like after the last few weeks anyway, is that everybody's allowed an opinion.
Yeah,
it doesn't make you any more or less of a fan.
No, it does. No, it's not that makes you a big fan. It's how many away games you go to, and
right?
How much shit you give out on Twitter and stuff. That makes you a proper fan. Yeah,
right. Yeah. So a bit of breaking news here. Starting lineup for tonight.
Ooh,
Millie in goal. Ayling. I guess he's playing centre back. Shackleton right back. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Koch will be defensive mid.
Yeah.
Strauch will be centre back. Dallas on the left. Clicky in the middle with Rafi. Rafi on the right. Harrison on the left. Rodrigo number 10 and Bamford number 9. What do we make of that lineup?
It's probably about as good as we can put. Well, I know
experimental, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. I think he's trialing. What's his name? Shackleton at right back a bit in here to cover for Ayling. I mean, have we got a natural sort of cover for Ayling at right back?
Does that mean Llorente's not travelled then? Because he didn't figure earlier either, did he? In the first game?
No, I don't think he.
So he's not travelled to Ajax at all today. He's not featured today, at least either on the bench, has he, in either game? So maybe Llorente's got a knock, which is not particularly good news.
Well, he picked one up at Betis, did he? But it looked really precautionary. Out of the two players, you just probably suggested Llorente might be back quicker than Struijk, but Struik's got age on his side, hasn't he, Struijk?
Yeah, and an Ajax reject as well. That's what I was thinking earlier today. We were playing this very, very good Ajax academy side who were playing total football, passing it around, silky. It looked really good. It did, and Strauch, he was a basically reject from their academy, wasn't he?
I'll take all their rejects then. Simple as.
They were impressive earlier.
Do you know what? I said it on the chat, didn't I? Why? Again, it sounds like I'm allowed to have an opinion, and I'm not running down anybody at the club or scouts or any of the kind of process that goes into finding people. But why aren't we getting more Ajax players? You look at how technically gifted they are and how they're brought up on playing proper football. You look at how Bielsa plays, which is a similar, good technique, very attacking. But we don't sometimes have the technicians to make it happen. Go and bloody mind, not Wigan and Chelsea, Lewis Bate from Chelsea and going and getting Wigan's youth team. Go get bloody Ajaxes, because I tell you what, those in a Bielsa team, given a year or two under him, I think you would see a few breakthroughs, because Struik's done it quickly enough, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. A few people asking about Shackleton. I think your question, Ewan, was, is there a natural replacement for Ayling? Rob would probably say Drame, who was outstanding last season. But Shackleton's he's been kind of left in limbo, really. Neither with the under 23s, nor getting game time with the first team.
Yeah.
But I thought he was quite impressive, especially against Blackburn, I think it was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's had a couple of good games actually. Do you know what it is with him? The pace and work rate of him and Rafinha, that'd scare the life out of a lot of people, wouldn't it?
I think with Shackleton this year, I think you've just literally flashed a comment up. I was just about to say, I think this is he's either got to do it this year or he's going to be a squad player in this squad that Bielsa's put together. Because, like you say, he's a bit like Leif Davis in a way that he's on the fringes of the first 11, makes appearances off the bench here and there, cup competitions when we get past the first round, and then he's not quite in the 23s week in, week out because he's needed for that first 11 bench or that rotation in the bigger squad. So if he doesn't pull through this year, and that's not through lack of effort, I think Ewan's just said it right there. He always looks like he gives 110% his pace. There's something about him that Bielsa likes. Maybe it's just at the minute that they've not quite found where his perfect position would be in this squad. So when he comes on, how does he make the best impact? Do you put him in centre mid, or do you put him at right back as a replacement for Ayling? Do you have him sitting in the hole behind maybe if Phillips is suspended or coming off, or where do you put him in this system? I think maybe that's a bigger question that they're yet to answer with Shackleton. Where does he fit this squad, this 17, if you're lining them up with the players plus a bench, what piece does he pick? Because there's a lot more positionally gifted players that will come in and specialise in a position where Jamie Shackleton will play. So, for example, Drame at right back is a natural longer-term succession than Shackleton is. But can he come in and do right back as a good job right now? Yeah. So
interesting that Firpo's missing out today as well.
Yeah, good point.
Any thoughts about that injury, or I guess we don't really know anything until.
No, I was going to say I've not heard anything that he's injured, but he might just be. He looked like he was just getting into his stride in those last couple of games compared to the Blackburn game where he looked a bit out. Well, looked like a player was playing his first game, didn't he? But the Betis game, I thought he played much better. So it's a shame he can't continue that. Prior to the season starting.
Yeah, those inverted runs?
nipples.
Is that the technical term?
Yeah.
Where he wasn't running on the outside. He was sort of cutting inside, and I thought running at the centre back. So I thought he looked really, really good. Really good.
The first goal against Betis, he had about 3 or 4 involvements, like one touches and running off the, to get the 1-2s and stuff. And I thought he, of course, put the cross in for Bamford. So it just looked like you started to see signs of the player we were expecting to buy. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. A few more comments have come in. Then Rick Kerr, evening peeps, evening
right,
Rick. Shax has been linked with the loan out, says Rick. And he also says that Costa has the capabilities of being something special, but he's too lazy and he gets bullied off the ball.
Said it today again.
Too much.
Got bullied off the ball by a 15-year-old today. So
he did against Blackburn. They brought that young lad on at left back and had him on toast. He didn't want to know. So I said it before. There's a footballer inside there somewhere, but it's wrapped up in a fanny, unfortunately. And it's there's no. Too soft. He gets knocked about too much. He's not committed enough. He don't want to. He's not got no pride to want to hang on to the ball and it's frustrating because with him, I've said it before, being in the ground and said it. You can see there's a footballer in there, but unfortunately, we're never going to get to see that because he ain't prepared to do the work. And I can't believe Bielsa stands for it. I could never get it with Tyler Roberts. That you look at this man who's principled and wants that, and then you've got Roberts wandering about with his sulking and not working back when he loses the ball, and you think, how does he get away with that?
And of course, no offense to fannies out there.
No, I love a good fanny. I'm not criticizing fannies at all, but I'm just saying, and I don't mean I'm not being derogatory about females. I mean it's just a bit soft, isn't it?
Soft, yeah. Big Wig, if we are to grow and are looking at progressing, then Ewan is right. It's as simple as that. Sentiment goes out the window. They both need replacing Roberts and Costa.
Yeah.
McAllister Bishop, guys, do you think Charlie Creswell will be our first choice alongside Strauch in the next few seasons? Firstly, great header, wasn't it? Fantastic thumping header.
Yeah. He's got the makings of one of a future centre back. A lot of people compare him to young Woody, but I think he's better than that. I mean, me and Matty spoke about it on the Under 23s podcast last year. He's vocal. He's a leader. He's an amazing talent for a young centre half. He's another one that I think we say no to any loans, because there'll be plenty of League One and Championship sides that wouldn't mind testing him out at a professional level rather than a development squad level. I think we should say no to that. I think we should keep him in Mark Jackson's PL2 Division 1 side and really, really expose him to hone in those centre half skills. But yeah, I mean, you look at it's a position, which is why we've let a couple of the other younger lads from the 23s and the 18s go out on loan, because it's a position now where we've got an abundance of cover for it, because obviously we've got Lorente, Struijk, Koch, Calvin can play there if required, Ayling can play there, Cooper, Shackleton, etc., and now Cresswell. But he is being pushed forward, I think, that centre line to be the next big one in succession. So the short answer to your question is yes, in a few years you could easily see him and Struijk lining up as our centre-half pairing. He's still got some developing to go, but he's a natural leader, he's a great talent, and he's one that the club should do everything to keep hold of, because he's a fantastically bright and intelligent footballer.
Okay, so a little bit on pre-seasons then. How much do they matter? Do they matter at all? Obviously, we haven't had the greatest set of results so far. What does that mean? Does that mean anything?
How did we get on last year in the pre-seasons? I mean, not great, was it? I mean, it's good for fitness and for players like Firpo and players coming into the team. It's great. Other than that, the results don't matter. It's all about fitness. It's all about getting ready for that first day, that first game, Man United. I'm not bothered. I don't take too seriously the results. Like I said, I do look at some of the performances and think, whatever break you've had. If you look at Costa, I'm not going to keep picking. Well, I am going to keep picking them out. But you look at Costa and Roberts. One of them's been away with Wales and hardly played. One of them's not been with his international team at all. You'd be dying to get back on that team and get involved, wouldn't you? I mean, and so I think it's good for sort of seeing who's ready for this season coming up. Whether it makes a difference to the selections going forward, but results don't matter. They're not important. Just enjoy them. I enjoyed the Betis game. I thought it was great. Blackburn, I thought they played really well. Blackburn, they were up for it. Had some good young players who were keen and hungry. It's an illness in it to just think, Leeds are, we're back in the Premier League, we just go roll over everybody, because that's not going to happen, and it's unimportant. I'd much rather we do well this season than win a couple of, pre-season games that nobody's going to remember in 3 months' time.
The way I look at it, Donny, is what does it mean to Bielsa? And if you look at the squads, obviously he's trying to put an 11 together and try positional players out like Cooper at left back earlier today. Today's the next game coming up in half an hour. You've got to look at that. And I think, what does the gaffer think to it? And if Bielsa was coming out post-match, pre-match saying, this is the be-all and end-all, we've got to be, storming over teams like this, then I'd be a bit concerned. But like Ewan said, they're not. They're using this as a fitness builder, looking at building those links and relationships. Harrison and Firpo been one, for example. And you've got to kind of build pre-season fitness back up to a level where you can kickstart the season minute one against Man United. But the other thing to that is the calibre of opposition. Previously, the pre-season opposition has been quite tedious. No offence to those smaller clubs, but we've played 5 Guiseley type fixtures in a row in July and August. This year we've got Betis, we've got a double Ajax, which is the first 11, and the under 23 academy, which is fantastic. We've played Blackburn. We've got I think a better quality of pre-season friendly this year, which I think matches the step up we've made to the Premier League. So again, you've got to look at the overall context, and I'm not worried about the results from the pre-season. Personally,
it's funny that you should talk about Bielsa, because I saw him today in the first Ajax game, and he looked quite interested in having a good result. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He strikes me as the kind of person who, if he ordered something at Greg's, or if he saw them making their pasty, he'd be very involved with the chefs, making sure that they get it right. He's just that.
But he's not lambasting players, is he? I mean, he might do for fitness and effort levels, but he's not coming out and going, or, we drew 1-1 against Blackburn. That means I've got to rotate the squad. We need 7 new players. We need this coming. The position from the club's still the same. Potentially another winger if the right deal comes along, and another centre mid of some capacity, maybe youth, that fella from O'Brien from Huddersfield or something along the lines of that. Or we're looking for a centre mid, aren't we? But a couple more in, and I think he knows he's got a decent enough squad to push on top 10 again and consolidate. So I'd be more worried if he was coming out post-match from these fixtures saying, it's a load of shit, lads, we're going to struggle this year. But he's not, and so I'm not.
He's not that kind of manager, though, is he?
No, not at all.
He's not your kind of Colin Wanker type manager. Come on, something like that.
It'd be interesting to know what his view on these pre-seasons is, wouldn't it? Like you say, the Bielsa view on it, because
he doesn't talk, does he? Because he has he has Thorpe Arch tweaked to his exact specifications, and Ellen Road now with the new pitch getting laid. So he doesn't like to take like a lot of teams will take I'm sure the club would commercially like to take us on tour because of the massive overseas fan base that we've got. COVID withstanding, we'd fill stadiums. We'd be able to go like we did when we went to Australia and take thousands to Australia. And we're a commercial powerhouse, aren't we? And I think the fact that Bielsa can put his foot down to the club and say, sod your commercial activity. We're doing a pre-season locally within and around Yorkshire, potentially over to we went to Loughborough, didn't we, University? And Ajax is the furthest we've gone for a double header with them. It's like he wants to keep it close-knit. He wants to keep it accessible so that the day-to-day aspects of pre-season training don't get interrupted by flashy friendlies that really mean nothing. And I like that.
I tell you what, if it turns Cooper into a left back, he is a genius. So build a statue.
You know what? He started quite well there. He put in a fantastic cross. I think it was to Roberts.
He just strikes
just
me.
Let a good left back go to Bournemouth. We don't need Cooper a left back.
I know. It strikes me as an out and out centre half. Cooper. Everything about him is the way his gait, the way he carries himself, his build. Everything says centre half to me, not left back. But I didn't think Stuart Dallas would end up being a centre midfielder, so what do I know?
Yeah. Well, Dallas is a left back tonight.
Yeah, well, he can play.
Never would have thought that. I was just looking on the club's announcement tweet, and everybody was saying, this is 2015 now, 6 years ago, and everybody was saying, because it was today, I think, and they were saying, "Yeah, we got a winger,
yeah.
Left
back, forward.
Yeah.
The new away kit someone's put in the chat. I've noticed. Lil Don thoughts on the new away kit. So at first I had a bad reaction to it, but it's grown on me. It has grown on me.
You did have a very bad reaction to it, actually. I seem to remember. Yeah, I was quite surprised. It's usually my job, that.
The only one I don't like is the home kit. I like all the other kits this year. We yet to see. I know Ewan's head's going to explode when the lilac monstrosity comes out. We yet to see that one. But the other kits, I don't like the home kit. I love the home keepers kit. That was the first one I ordered. I got the kit, the home keepers kit. I think that's really nice. I like the training kits. The only one I don't like is the white home kit this year. It's a bit not for me.
I like, actually, apart from the lilac thing, the yellow, the home kit's grown on me a little bit. I've been seeing them playing it, and that blue, the electric blue sort of camouflage. I was going to wear them. I've got a Ralph Lauren version of that, so it might be. I think I wore it on the podcast, so maybe they're just watching me and stealing all my ideas. If they come out with a black one with a little CP company badge on it, we know what they're doing. But yeah, do you know what? I think this is the thing about I've been the elder statesman of the group, right? Nobody gave a shit about kits years ago. We've had some fantastic kits. Nobody talked about it. There was no social media loving it or hating it either way. They just brought a kit out and you either bought it or you didn't, but nobody cared. It's like maybe I think there was less controversy in kits back then. You know what I mean? Definitely, it was like a pretty simple job to do, but nobody cared. They brought a kit out. People bought it. People didn't. You got on with the season. Kits were a real irrelevance, and everything's under the microscope in it now with social media and the way football has become this global entity. So don't worry about it, lads. Don't sweat it. And when I have a proper, aneurysm about the lilac thing, I'll remind you of this moment.
We'll be on here, me and Donny saying, just don't sweat it, mate. Kits were never a thing.
Don't set fire to it in your back garden and stamp it out. And
I have become less less caring about it so much. I kind of had this thought, like, you know what, if you want a blue and yellow kit, you can just go buy the retro one or like one of the retro ones, So yeah, I have
I saw
a bit of a change of heart.
Yeah, I saw the Packard Bell. Remember Michael Bridges is the player I always think of it. The Packard Bell, light blue with the dark blue stripe across it.
Very nice. What
a lovely kit. And it does. I think it does make you, especially as again an elder statesman, look back at nostalgically at kits we've had that were absolutely superb.
You mean you're not going to look back with fondness at the League One Macron?
Probably.
Some great kits there, weren't there?
That glow in the dark one. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Macron. Funnily enough, have you seen the Castellon third kit where Pablo's gone to play?
Yes.
The all black.
All black one with.
So it's not a Macron illness. It's somebody at Leeds United that's getting it super wrong. Because like I said, I mean, Adidas have been a massive disappointment to me. That's just my own opinion. That they came in and you thought brilliant, and then forgot that they've got to put stripes on everything. You look at some of the kits that Macron are doing, Puma are doing, other producers are doing, other manufacturers. It's been a bit of a damp squib with Adidas so far, hasn't it? But like I said, the green and blue one last year was gorgeous. I think that blue one, the second kit or third kit or second kit, is a really nice kit.
They've been a financial success, haven't they? And I think that's what we spoke about last week. They just, what was it, last week or the week before? The pink kit from the centenary year, the lilac-y coloured one, that was one of the biggest selling kits, wasn't it? And even if you believe the statement from Angus last week, the home kit for this year has broken the records from last year in terms of sales. So I agree with you. I think Adidas have been a slight disappointment as a commercial partner for the quality and the design of the kits, but they're doing something right because they're selling in numbers. But I think that's the Leeds United brand that's carrying that, not necessarily the quality of the kit or the design of the kit.
I know. Listen, I know I'm a big Adidas fan. Most of my trainers on it. There's no question that because it's Adidas, lots of people will buy it as well.
Yeah,
no question.
True.
Okay, a few comments here then. I thought Chris Moore was class as Dylan. Rick Kerr, we always start strong in the league. Bring the scummers on with the fans there.
Amazing.
I don't think we talked about that, but what an opening fixture that is. Jesus.
Absolutely brilliant.
Especially if we win. That would be fantastic. Wouldn't have hurt to put some yellow on that blue and white, says Nora. I didn't like it first.
I wonder where she got that from.
It's warming on me.
You bloody brainwashed that poor girl.
I have. More from Nora. I'm just here for Ewan's kit rant. Jive91. Hi, cuckoos.
Hello.
Hope you're well. Does it piss you lads off that Villa try to sign players we're always looking at?
No, not really.
No.
They're spending wisely, though. And the only thing that has made me laugh today is the delusion that some Villa fans think that the Grealish money is on top of what they've already spent. I don't see that. I think they've already been spending some of that money and spending it well. They've made some good signings, actually. Bailey's exciting. I think Bailey will do to Villa what St. Maxim did to Newcastle. He'll be like the marquee showboater, the kind of connection to the fans with the social media and all that. I think he's definitely going to be their flair player, isn't he? But they've used the money well, but I don't think much of, if Grealish to City does go through, which it looks like it's going to, I don't think there'll be another £100 million worth of spend. Maybe another 20-30 million. They're on about James Ward-Prowse, aren't they? Which would be another good addition.
You're bringing back memories of where did the Chris Wood money go?
Yeah, exactly. Where did any of the money go in them eras, Donny? That's the thing. Well, we know where it went.
Biggles White, Donny's shirt now looks like what Leeds should be. So for those people listening,
where did my pie tax money go? Actually,
podcast. It was. I'm wearing a 1950s style retro shirt. Rick would love to see a full yellow kit from a few seasons ago, but Adidas material. I think a lot of these things will come.
Yellow kits
eventually. It's 5-year deal, is it, with Adidas?
Yeah.
That concept kit that you shared, Donny, though, was lovely. You shared it on the Adelites at Twitter. Just a quick promo for your Adelites account there, but you did share a concept kit which looked absolutely stunning.
Do you know what? I think I'm up to like 60,000 tweets. So I've got no idea how many tweets I've put out, but I've definitely shared a few concept kits. But I always share the ones with the traditional colours for some reason. Biggles White sales equals cash. Is that Bamford sat on the bottom of the screen? Someone's saying that you look like Bamford.
Oh, really?
Me?
Jive. Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently.
Fucking not me.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Dylan, any Ajax team news? Yeah, we had it up before. And now I've put it away again. So
it's not coming back.
what was it? Melier, Shackleton,
Ailing.
Stroke, Dallas, Koch, Click, Rodrigo, Rafinha, Harrison, and Bamford. There you go.
Yeah. Well done,
McAllister Bishop on the shirt, guys. I really hope the lilac one is a hoax. Please, can we have a lovely yellow one?
It's the third kit.
Okay, I think that's enough kit.
God almighty, yeah, please.
This is despite the 1950s style shirt I'm wearing. This is way before my time. So Terry Cooper, before your time as well, I think, Ewan.
I knew you were gonna. Yeah, it is definitely before my time. Yeah, I didn't see. I didn't clean Terry Cooper's boots or anything like that. No. I wish I had though. Yeah.
It's someone I don't know too much about, to be honest. I know he played left back.
White boots.
Yeah. 250 appearances for Leeds.
Amazing. Yeah.
This is 1962 to 75. So that really was the glory years. So yeah, just another one to say goodbye to when we play Everton, and another name to add to the mural or whatever is going to happen.
Yeah, again, it's before my time, but clips I've seen of him and people he talks from that that generation say he was just absolute quality. Gentleman off the pitch, competitor on it, classy left fullback. Could do anything, and I think he was. I don't know that this isn't from anybody who spoke to me, but I think he was on the cusp of like the England team, or was in and out of like the England team on the fringes of at a time where they had some very good players in that position. So again, the main sentiment is just another sad loss, and I guess we're getting to that age now where that generation of players, we are going to start seeing more and more of them pass, and it's really sad. But just got to be thankful for what they left. I think that generation of players created. I know we've had some ups and downs in between, but created the Leeds United we all know and love when they're at their best. That they were the players that set the standard and still do set the standard for anybody coming into the club. So, got to be thankful and grateful for having witnessed such great players play and the culture that they've created at Leeds. Of that winning mentality and never say die attitude comes from that team and is inspired by that team.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. It is that time, isn't it? It's just unfortunate. I think the thing about that squad was that before then it was really only John Charles, and Jack Charlton came into the first team as well during that time, but really it was Revie that put us on the map and kind of made Leeds United what it is today, which is a huge club with a massive history. So all I can say is I just imagine me in 40, 50 years, and then we'd be having the equivalent of the Woodgates and Radabys and people like that, and I just think that's how that group of fans from that era must feel. So yeah, absolutely devastating. A few images then from Ajax. Here we go.
So devastated, couldn't go.
Look at this, hey,
amazing.
I mean, what a stadium! I lived in Amsterdam for about 6-7 months. I think John Lennon was like, he went to San Francisco, didn't he, when his marriage was he called it the lost weekend. He 18 months where he couldn't remember much of it. That's a bit like my experience of Amsterdam.
I'm going to say that's everybody's been there.
They've got an insane fan base. I sat with the Ajax fans when they played Barcelona in the Champions League in a group game years ago. I was living just outside Barcelona at the time, and their fans are absolutely insane. Really nice people, but bonkers on a different level, certain section of that fan base, and great group of people to have a few beers with. they are. It would have been a good away day that if things were in a bit more normal times.
Yeah, there's this thing that happens in Europe where you march to the ground, especially for really big games. So here, I took part in it. So I live in Vienna, if you didn't know, and support Rapid Vienna, just because I met a few lads here from their ultras and started going with them. And it's insane, insane. You march to the ground, and they do it for their Austria Wien, which is the in-city rivals. It's a bit weird with Leeds because we don't have that other team, but it's like in Manchester with Scum and City or whatever. So it's the same thing here, and they go absolutely bonkers. And you can't wear a shirt, or you know what I mean. You will definitely get beaten up on the way. It's absolutely insane. The ultras, they have those flares, and it's just there's so many police around, and it's really it's kind of a shame that there's not something a bit more formal like that in Leeds. But you've seen where it's come in and it doesn't really fit. Like Crystal Palace sticks out like a sore thumb, where they've got ultras there banging the drum and singing the whole time. It's not really in the English way.
Well, they sort of copied off us, didn't they, all them years back? If you go to like Italy and Rome and places like that, they've got like scooter shops and Parker jackets and like mod gear, and they've copied a lot of sort of subcultures and the football kind of culture from us. We don't need to be copying that from Europe, believe me, because it just looks like you say, it looks so wrong. But I've been to Amsterdam, I've been to Ajax, watched a game, and it's bonkers. And it was a great atmosphere, and I think it's Lloyd Cole in it is the lyrics to. Can't remember what can't remember the song now, but yeah, it took a lost weekend in a hotel in Amsterdam. We've all been there, and it's amazing city. It'd been great to go out there for the pre-season as well in the sunshine. Yeah, probably would have regretted it now. Well, certainly tomorrow morning.
You'd be stumbling to the ground, navigating it with one eye.
Well, yeah, one eye would be good. It'd be advantageous to the last time I was in Amsterdam.
Okay. A few more comments then on the shirt. I really hope the lilac one is a hoax. Oh, I already said that. Ritka, I think you all look like something out of Benidorm.
Excellent. I can't imagine. I'm the Johnny Vegas.
Am I Madge? Am I the old ring?
Yeah, you're Madge. Yeah, you need to get on a mobility scooter, especially after you're running up the stairs.
I was going to say, I'm about as fit as Madge these days. I just nearly had a stroke climbing upstairs.
Emma Oliver, what about Poveda? I really like him. Has he featured in any preseason? Yeah, not particularly impressive performances to me. He's obviously a player with a lot of potential, loads of bag full of tricks, but not that much end product. I don't remember seeing so many goals or assists.
Even in the 23s last year, when he dropped down, he didn't set the world alight. You had people that were in the 23s, like your Gellards, your Greenwoods. Somerville been the main one because it's a direct positional player that plays in the same role as him that outperformed him in terms of game on game. So I think this is a big year for Poveda. If he's not on the fringe of the first 11, if he drops down to PL2 Division 1, he's really got to put a shift in, because otherwise he might get loaned out come Christmas time. He's got to start to prove, like Donny just said there, that there's an end product to his trickery and his running, because otherwise his head's down and he's just up and down the wing. But we're not paying him to run about. We're paying him to run about and deliver something that contributes to the team.
It's very lightweight, isn't it? There's another one a bit like Costa, too lightweight for me.
He tried to bulk up, didn't he, this summer? If you look, he has tacked on some muscle mass, but like you say, he gets shoved off the ball too easy sometimes.
Yeah. Tons of ability. Seems like a really nice guy as well. Always got a smile on his face, which is obviously good for morale and a whole bunch of other things. And you feel, I do feel some something for him, like I really hope he succeeds. I really hope he does it. You've seen the number of players we've had doubts about, even Phillips before Bielsa and Bamford. So there are players that have improved no end, and it's just about some of those players who have their potential but haven't shown it yet. If they can step up, and they've got every chance.
I think the improvement with players like that was so rapid. It was so quick, and it was almost an immediate improvement. And the problem I've got with, I'm not going to mention the names again, but 2 players tonight, but Povedi could probably put in that group as well, who've kind of been there now long enough to start seeing some improvement. And again, not seeing it in the kind of I'm not seeing it in the kind of terms that I would expect.
Yeah, I felt like Harrison was one of those that didn't switch it on overnight.
Absolutely.
Slow burner.
Absolutely. It was a slow builder, wasn't he? I remember there was one point, and end product was his problem as well. Like, he always seemed to be able to, go around a player or two when he felt confident, or when you could notice that confidence about him. But then all of a sudden, it would be one fantastic cross or one great shot. And last season was a real breakout, and that's the kind of thing that you're talking about, isn't it, Rob?
But you can forgive.
Yeah.
The thing with Harrison is work. It's like I've just said. If you've all played football. You've played football. I've played it at a decent level. If things, sometimes you just go on a pitch and things don't come off. You can try as much as you want. You can try even harder, and it gets worse. The one thing Harrison's got in his locker is he works his bollocks off. His work rate's ridiculous. Whoever's playing at left back has got a great mate in Harrison, because you can guarantee if they get beat, he'll be the one that covers. He'll be the one that works to get back and help out. And you can forgive him for not having a great game sometimes, or he's touching quite at it. And his touch is usually, and he's got pillow feet, and he's unbelievable. But that's where I have the problems with the other ones, because when it's not coming off, there isn't that, right, I'm just going to get my head down, I'm going to work my bollocks off and win the game for the team.
And that's the issue with Poveda, I think, because he drops down to the 23s, and you'd think that was his time to say, actually, I'm not quite ready for that squad, but I'm too good for this squad. And he had a real opportunity last season in multiple games to drop to the 23s and run the show, pull the strings, dance around defenders, whip that final ball in, set up Greenwood or Gelhardt or whoever's playing up front with him, or along the other side of the wings, and he just didn't do it. So it's not a case of, we've seen him in glimpses and he's fleeting, and maybe he's not getting the chance, so he's not having the opportunity. I think he has been given opportunities, and I think as of yet, I agree with Donny. We want him to succeed. I think he will. He's got the talent in abundance. He's just got to work on some end product, and that comes down to a little bit of effort, which I think pulls all the points together, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Emma Oliver, Villa just signed Danny Ings. Have they?
Wow. If that's true, they've spent the money wisely.
Have they,
Jeff? Have they? I don't know what's going on.
We need to be more aggressive in the market. Barney says, Barney meant to be with us today, but he couldn't be, unfortunately. So hopefully he'll be back soon. He says, I feel sorry for Eddie. He needs to be looked after. Yep, Eddie Gray, wrap him in cotton wool.
Don't feel sorry for Eddie. He's fitter than everybody, Eddie Gray, mate. I've played golf with him once, and I've seen him running out round Weatherby and stuff. He's fit as a lad. Is Eddie? He'll be here longer than me, mate. Don't worry about it.
I was going to say, based on today's performance before we came on the live stream, I couldn't even get upstairs without gasping. I think he's fitter than me.
Rob has been running up and down 4 sets of stairs. Biggles White on clips. TC just glided so fast on the pitch, even though pitches were like ploughed fields. So that's about Terry Cooper. Amit, Villa have just signed Danny Ings. So seems like that's confirmed then.
Can I ask you boys a question with that? I mean, not that it's a Villa podcast or a Man City podcast, but I think getting Bailey, Ings and Buendia is not a bad return for Grealish, to be honest. I think Villa can come out of this with a bit of pride. They've invested that money wisely.
Let's talk about Ward-Prowse.
I'd love him at Leeds. I'd love Ward-Prowse
at
Leeds. Yeah.
See, if they get those fights, so if they're adding Ward-Prowse, let's say they don't. Let's say they had one of those two. Let's say they had Ward-Prowse over Cantwell. I still think that's a fantastic return for Grealish. Those 4 players will enhance Villa something chronic, and
that's what you have to do. That's the model, isn't it? You've got to play
talent. You've got to reinvest it in.
It's sought after like that. I'm not going to even mention it, but you look at Rafinha. If in a year's time or 2 years' time somebody comes in with silly money for Rafinha, and you can buy 4 or 5 quality players, you know, the problem you've got is Tottenham have done it over the years, and there's plenty of teams who've done it. They've sold a player,
wasted the money,
absolutely dick the money. You know, you look at the players they bought. I mean, I think Bale's the one in it. If you look at Tottenham selling Bale, you look at the players that they brought in. Absolutely horrific.
I've got a stat for you about that. There was Gareth Bale has played for Spurs and scored more recently than the 5 players they bought in to replace him.
There you go. So there you go.
Came in and have gone, and he's been away for all those years at Madrid. Come back in on loan and played and scored. So, like you just said there, they wasted that money on him.
No, it's wasted. You've got to be, and you look at them signings. You know, you don't know what's going to happen when a player comes in, how they're going to perform, but you can pretty much guarantee Ward-Prowse, Ings. Don't know about Buendia too much. Who was the other one? I don't know too much about the other lad, Bailey.
Leon Bailey from Leverkusen.
Yeah, there's 2 players there out of 4 that you can probably guarantee are going to come into your team and give you something. You know, the Bale, I don't think there was one player who came and gave him anything. You know, so you've got to invest the money wisely. I'd rather we do what we're doing now. To answer a question you asked earlier, Donny, are we doing enough in the transfer market? I'd rather we get the right players at the right time than just go and throw money at any old player that ends up sat on the bench or never plays or isn't good enough to be there. Simple as.
Yeah, I mean, Scum is the great example, isn't he? Aren't they? That, you know, they got rid of Rednose and never been able to replace him. And the amount of money they've spent on trash.
Arsenal as well, you know. Arsenal don't invest greatly. Arsenal invest poorly. Liverpool do well with their investment, but because they've got
getting rid of Martinez, they had him.
I know.
Chelsea, another one, throwing bad money after good.
Yeah.
The difference is with Chelsea and City, they can afford to throw the bad money away. Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man United with their owners don't, you know, maybe can't as much, but they still keep doing it and they throw bad money after bad money, like you say. I think Villa have done well there. If I was a Villa fan, I would be happy with that return for what you've said.
Apart from living in Birmingham, but that's another story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be happy.
Hating myself.
Every day being a Villa fan. But it's like running a business, isn't it? You know, like you said about Ferguson, Bielsa. If you've got the right man at the top, if you've got a great leader, then ultimately you will bring the young players through and they'll get better. You will develop players and they'll get better. You can bring in that 1 or 2, 3 a season and improve the team and finish slightly higher or aim for better. You know, if you haven't got that right man at the top, it doesn't matter how much money you throw back. It's never going to work, is it? So, I mean, as I say, the most important signing for us at the moment every season is Bielsa. So let's hope we get that one sorted out, and I'm sure he'll do amazing things with whatever he's got to work with.
Yeah, I mean, Angus has said it himself, Leicester are the model, aren't they? If you look at the players that they sold, Kante, for example, probably one of the best players in the world and certainly a candidate for the Ballon d'Or after winning the Champions League and doing so well with France winning the World Cup a few seasons ago. He's just such an incredible player. But what they did with that money, you know, they got Ndidi and Fofana and
Tielemans, great player.
Yeah. And even before that, with Mahrez, they got him for hardly anything, didn't they? And then they made a huge profit out of him and then invested again. And I think that's the model that we have to look at and follow.
We were never going to come in this year and spend another 100 million. We just weren't going to do that. I mean, commercial revenue was down because of COVID. Fans weren't in the stadium. But even if we'd have had a packed house at Ellen Road, like you've said, the business model, which we might not all agree with because it's down to the football and we all primarily want the sport of football to be the winner. But to sustain that, the business model has to be what they're doing, which is prioritising remaining in the Premier League, expanding Ellen Road, because we've got thousands of fans going loopy on social media each week that they can't get tickets for this, that and the other. So, you know, we need to invest in that side so that we can appease the commercial revenue in order to invest it. We spent 100 million last year, which I think was wisely invested. I'd say arguably the only signing we've made of the Bielsa era, which has cost us a lot of money, is Costa. The rest have been, I think, quite shrewd business signings. Rodrigo needs to obviously increase his output as well to repay some of the money we spent on him. But we've invested wisely, and we weren't going to go and spend another 100 million this year. So Firpo's in. Let's get a centre mid, another winger if we can, with some smart business, and push on this year. And then the big marquee signings might come in the future when we consolidate. But I think any fan that thinks we were just going to go and maybe people, I think I just saw a comment there. I don't want to call people out, but I think I saw a comment, someone saying, why aren't we showing the same ambition as Villa? To do what Villa have done, we will need to sell.
For 100 million.
I was going to say, we're going to need to sell Rafinha or Phillips, and I don't want to sell Rafinha or Phillips. I'd like to keep them and invest wisely. I think Villa have made some great replacement signings for Grealish, but they've been spending the Grealish money. They've not just got this extra money. So I don't think it's that Leeds aren't showing the ambition. I think it's a case that Villa had an extra year of Premier League money, and they've just sold a player for 100 million quid. So.
Yeah, and Bielsa's philosophy is to improve players when he can, and if he can, not just trying to buy something. That's why he never went to Real Madrid or Barcelona. Okay, wrap it up then with a few comments. Then I'm going to ask you for your predictions for tonight. Emma Oliver, a bit harsh to be critical of Poveda when he's hardly getting a look in. Fair enough point. Sometimes you do need a good run of games, don't you? James Dirt, we're going down if we don't sign some players. Again, everybody's allowed their opinion. That's what I've discovered the last few weeks. Doesn't make you any more or less of a fan. Nova, they did it right by buying before selling. Yep, that's always the best, isn't it? Replace who you want to sell and do it sustainably. And then you if you can't sell them, then you're still in an okay position. LS14, Tony. Evening, lads and lasses, from a Leeds lad in Germany. Up. I bought my first silk Leeds United scarf from Terry Cooper in his shop on the way to Ellen Road back in the day. My claim to fame, all Leeds, aren't we?
Brilliant. Forgot about that. He did have a shop, did he? A sports shop. Yeah, brilliant.
McAllister Bishop, does the £3.99 for the match go towards Costa's wages?
No.
And Jive91, is it true Bielsa was looking for a house? If it's true, surely he's going to sign a 2 or 3 year deal. I've heard
that rumour in Leeds. It's knocking about that he's been house hunting and so on. His wife's been over this summer and so on. And that's definitely the case. They went to Edinburgh and then I think they were in Leeds and apparently. But like I say, it's tedious, isn't it? I mean, like I always remember going to the first game of the season when you were back in the day in like the late 80s, early 90s. There'd be a player you didn't know and everybody would be like, who's he? There'd be like one kid, it'd probably be the stats of the 80s or 90s, and turn up and go, oh, it's John Pemberton. We got him from Sheffield United. He played in the game that we won the league. Oh, fucking hell, never heard of him. Yeah. It's so much analysis and kind of spotlight on everything that happens, the kit, who we're bringing in, players. I mean, that gentleman there, you know, you don't truly think we're going to go down if we don't sign any players, do you? But, you know, again, I'm happy that you've got an opinion and you're allowed to share it. That's what this is all about. But yeah, there's so much analysis on everything these days that, like I say, back in the day, we'd signed pretty decent players and nobody knew they'd been signed till they rocked up on the pitch when he turned up for the first game of the season. Or, it's bizarre.
I mean, what I'd say about that is I have doubted players and I've doubted Bielsa. And you do that because you worry.
Yes,
because
anxiety. It's anxiety.
It is, yeah. And he's proved me wrong. And most of the players have proved me wrong as well. So, I do have anxiety, as Ewan said, but I don't think we're going down. Okay, I'll put you on the spot then. Ewan?
Score. Oh, Jesus. I haven't seen the Ajax lineup, and obviously I'm an expert on Ajax, so I'd love to see their lineup. I'm going to go for 2-2.
Okay. Score draw. Rob?
I think we'll lose 2-1. I think it's an experimental lineup. I don't think there's any I think the performance will be there, but I just don't think we'll quite live up to it.
Oh, okay.
There they are, the boys. It's from Leeds United Twitter. Okay. So if you want to write your scores quickly in the comments, and we'll say our goodbyes.
That training kit's lovely, by the way.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah, it's very waspish.
It's definitely got something about it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I like it.
Bold. Okay.
You just call me bald then.
I was waiting for that.
Not inaccurate.
Aerodynamic, mate. Aerodynamic. I could grow hair if I really wanted to. I just don't. I choose not
to. How are you at swimming?
Me?
Yeah, you've got the head for it.
Like Duncan.
Streamlined.
Quick.
Yeah.
Quick. Yeah. I've got the flotation device to go with it now as well. I'm bloody brilliant.
So there will be no match review for this because just a friendly. But we will see you next week, I'm guessing. And there's another game next week. I don't know if it is. No, it's on the 7th, isn't it? Saturday.
Is that Villarreal?
Villarreal, yes. So we'll bring you
behind closed doors, that one, isn't it?
Is it?
Our thoughts on that one. Yeah, well, there'll be some highlights at least, won't there?
Yeah.
Hope so.
Hopefully. Thank you very much for all our supporters in the chat. Sorry we've been away for so long, but we'll be back at it. And we're just getting we're not having a great preseason either, but we're just warming up. It's all about
it.
It's all about fitness. It's all about working together again. It's all about bringing the new guys in. It's not about the results. It's not about the output. It's we've been a bit of a shambles, haven't we? To be fair. One way or another. I'm going on holiday a lot in August, so you won't see much of me, but that's probably a good thing. Can I just say something as well? I went to watch the 100 on. I went to take my kids to watch the 100 cricket. I know it's a completely different sport, but we're very diverse here at the Roaring Peacocks, aren't we? Absolutely brilliant. What a great day out. So if you've got young children and they want to get into sport and you're sick of the bloody microscope of football all the time and how bloody antagonistic it is, go watch the 100 with your family. It's bloody ace. We had a right laugh. The dads can all have a pint and get a bit of fish and chips. The kids are all sat eating sweets, getting sugared up, and my kids chanting Yorkshire, Yorkshire, Yorkshire with all pissheads. They were high-fiving all pissheads on the way out. It was brilliant. It's a great day out. It's really good. So I'm not a massive cricket fan. My dad's huge. He scores at Yorkshire, my old man, and he's a massive traditional cricket fan, but he loved watching his grandkids get excited about cricket. It's bringing in a whole new group of fans to the game and stuff. So, yeah, I can highly recommend. It's like Huey's watching it. Huey's week. What's Huey been doing this week? Get to the 100, man. It's bloody brilliant. And we're playing Manchester on the 12th of August, the Old Trafford Originals, I think they're called. That's a proper warm-up for the 14th, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. So the 100, that's Ewan's thing that he's been doing this week. Rob, have you got one very quickly?
No, mate.
No.
Nothing exciting in my life going on. I'm going to the cricket at Headingley at the end of the month, bank holiday weekend. Yeah. We've got a test match, haven't we? Yeah. I've only got tickets for one day, but no, nothing exciting happened since I last saw you all. I've been obsessing over Twitter and microscopically analysing everything.
Right, yeah. Barney's been doing that with some success as well this week, I noticed.
He's plunged it right in there, and he put both feet in, actually.
Into the deep end. And my recommendation is true crime podcasts. So I've been listening to The Serial, and the one I've been listening to now is In the Dark.
It's a bit like
called In the Dark, I think.
A bit like this podcast.
Right. Very in the dark.
We've been doing
Olympics.
In the dark
actually, it'd be worthwhile mentioning the Olympics. I've got a mini claim to fame. Jess Learmonth, who did well in the triathlon event and the mixed triathlon, they medalled, I think, didn't they, in the mixed triathlon? I know her sister. She's a massive Leeds United fan, so she's listening. Tori, hello.
Yes.
And Yorkshire itself as a county, we'd be something like 9th or 10th on the medal table, I think.
It's the same. Leeds is about 10th, I think. I think Yorkshire's about 6th, 7th. I remember there was one Olympics. Was it it might have been the London Olympics where Yorkshire would have finished about 7th on the medal, 8th on the medal table. So just smashing it, aren't we? What a great county.
Yeah. Amazing athletes.
Speaking of which, I'm off to Scarborough on Sunday, so there you go. Beautiful part of Yorkshire.
Oh, I saw a Leeds shirt or two there, the new ones as well.
Yeah, well, I've heard a rumour there's a load of lads gone over. They just had to get through border, and there's some Dutch Leeds fans have bought them tickets.
Maybe someone can help me out, though, because the away kit only got launched today. There's fans in the stadium with the blue away kit on. Unless they bought it at Ellen Road this morning and then they've gone across this afternoon.
Possibly. I mean, it's not a long flight, is it? There's
definitely a contingent have gone. They've not gone into Amsterdam directly into Holland. They've gone somewhere else. I won't give away the.
But I did see some blue kits there, and
they've paddled in there in the canal.
That's it. Across there in the boat.
This is going right into the weeds here, but I've been in that canal. I regretted it almost instantly.
Intentionally?
Intentionally, yeah.
Jesus.
There was an old Russian submarine that was abandoned in the canal, and we decided that we were going to break into it.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Probably shouldn't be
We had
talking
seen
about
him
this.
listed as Moreno, innit? Number 19 Moreno instead of Rodrigo.
How many mind-altering drugs did you have at the time, Donny?
No, do you know what? I've got no excuses for that. We just wanted to have a beer in an old Russian submarine.
Like you do.
I'm going to get off now because we'll get in trouble if we're doing a watch along with the thing on the screen. I should probably take off. Thank you very much for listening or watching. My name is Adonis, and you know me as @TheAdelites on Twitter. It's a very goodbye from me. Thank you to all the people in the chat. Barney, Nova, McAllister, Jive, James Doe, Nora, Biggles White, everybody. Joining us today was the Prince of Thievery and Darkness, Machiavelli at you and Metcalf.
Good night. God bless everybody. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the game. And
our ambassador, our youth ambassador, Alioski in disguise. Rob, I choose you, Rob.
Stay safe.
Our very own Miley Cyrus.
It's the climb. Don't ask me, I know a Miley Cyrus song.
I'm not gonna.
Take care.
God bless you all.
Bless.
Yeah, take care, lads.